Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is, or you have got a bit lost. Welcome everyone, I'm Chatty, this is my channel Chatty the Mad Chatter, and I'm going to be chatting away, hopefully rather quickly, about what I'm hoping to read in October. This is my October TBR, and again, I'm sorry, I'm not doing a book game. We're getting to the end of the year and I just know what I want to read, so me doing a book game is kind of like detrimental because it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And also, October is always the month where there's 4 readathons that I find really interesting that all happen at the same time. And also, since Becca moved Bookoplathon from September to October to become Spookoplathon, there's 5. But we're ignoring Spookoplathon. I'm just going to do that another month because I'll be in a better place to do it another month. We will see. Anyway, I'm quickly going to crack on and tell you about the readathons that I'm interested in, and then I'm going to go through them. Some of them kind of have a little bit more with TBRs to do. I am not necessarily going to fully take part in them because the most important thing for me is to read the books I know I want to read. If it works for the readathons, great. And there are readathons where I'm definitely kind of like taking the spirit of the readathon and kind of like what the readathon is hoping to do and kind of the vibes and the joy of the readathon. My books kind of fit that, but it's not going to be the letter of the law. It's the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. Anyway, waffles are going on. So that's that. And then I'm going to talk through like definitely the books that I want to be reading and kind of seeing if they fit in the prompts of the readathon. That's the plan. Okay. On this channel, if you don't already know, I talk a lot, 1, and 2, it's one continuous shot. I do not do editing, so here's my little gimmick. It's a shot of tea, so cheers everyone. Clink, 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 clink. 1 shot, no editing. It's my little tiny teacup. There we go. I really should get like some more. I feel I would like more, maybe like themed ones. That would be quite cute. Anyway, right, we're cracking on. The 4 readathons that I want to talk to you about are Gothtober. This is a readathon that has been created by Hannah from Ladette M. They're in the 5th year of doing it, and I have taken part, I think, in the last 2 years, and I find it really, really fun. Gothtober, along with some of the other readathons in here, it's not always my usual vibe. Halloweeny spooky books isn't necessarily the stuff I always go for, so I don't always feel I can like fully embrace. I need to kind of balance out the spooky with some of my other stuff. I need a balance. I did the first year I took part in Gothtober, I kind of went all in and I got massive kind of like burnout reading slump because it was just so dark. I was putting myself into such a dark place by what I was reading. I was like, no, this is not working. So bits and pieces, I'm taking bits and pieces. And so this year we have got a it's called like super galactic something. It's got like spooky sci-fi based theme. I will tell the correct title shortly. And each year there is a game. Over the past few years there's been like a game, so you create your TBR by the choices you make on the game. So there's going to be symbols and it's going to put you into a galaxy and it's going to create your reading prompts from that. So we're going to play that soon. The next readathon is Blackoweenathon, which has been created by Brie from Locked Booktition. And again, the vibe of this is, well, first the main vibe is reading books by Black authors. So it's to kind of promote amazing books by Black authors that people don't necessarily know about, kind of like encouraging reading and highlighting fantastic Black authors because they do not get enough of the limelight. So with that, Brie also really enjoys her mysteries and her thriller and sort of like the spooky books. So all of this is kind of like around those. And within that, it's kind of broken down into kind of subgenres. You've got this town that you go around and like different places have got different prompts, and the more you read of them, the more you start working towards being like the major mystery solver. I can't remember the name she gave. All of the videos, I will put the links to the announcement videos in the description box and the content creators that I mentioned, so you can go and find out for yourselves. So with that, I will be rolling a dice. I will be telling you which place I am going to be going to and seeing if I can hit some reading prompts with that one. So it's spooky books, mystery, thrillery books by Black authors. It's kind of the vibe of that readathon. Then we have a completely different vibe. We have Victober, that's been created by Katie Lumsden from Books and Things. And this is all about reading Victorian authors and celebrating love of Victorian literature. I, again, know that's not my usual vibe. I like a classic here and there, but I do not feel I could devote a whole month to doing that, because it's, I need palate cleansers. I need the variety, or it's going to put me into a slump. But I would like to try and read something. In the coming years, I would like to try and do this kind of more fully. But for now, I know what I need to read, but I might be able to kind of join in a little bit. And finally, we have Hallowtweenathon, Hallowtween, created by Stormi from Storm Reads. And this is celebrating middle grade books, but specifically spooky middle grade books. And you know me, I love middle grade, so I will be getting on board with all of that. So we are now going to go, now you know all the readathons that I'm like dipping in and out of, we're going to go and play the Gothtober game. And I'm so excited. I have held off. I have held off from going to the game. I have no idea what the prompts are going to be. We're going to play it together because it's so much fun. Okay, apologies if the camera is being a bit weird. We're now on my laptop and you've got a bit of a weird screen. But here we are. It is Prophetic Galaxies game. Here is the link here. Let's hope it loads. Okay, so my old laptop may not support certain things, but hopefully it will play enough for us to cope with it. Presume we just click here, or is this a loading bar? Support this game. Okay, it's loading now. Nope, that was not what I needed to happen. Okay, well that is a big anticlimax. Basically, I can no longer play this game on my laptop. I have done it before in previous years, but my laptop is really like, no, we definitely cannot do it now. Okay, so that was highly disappointing. My old laptop is so old, it can't cope with the software of the game. I have been able to do it on the last laptop for the last 2 years, but clearly not anymore. So, big anticlimax, everybody. I'm not going to be finding out the Gothtober prompts. I will be doing it on my phone, but obviously I can't do that while I'm filming. And we're already 7 minutes into the video, so I don't really want to restart again. So I will just add it somehow. I'm not sure how it's all going to go. We'll see. We'll see how I end up letting you know. Then maybe there'll be a part 2 video where I tell you how that all fits in. But anyway, you can all go and play the game. You can all go and have a great time getting Gothtober prompts. So we're going to move on from Gothtober because I don't know what's going to come up. But usually there is always a prompt that is read a book by a BIPOC author. So because I'm taking part in Blackoweenathon, that's definitely gonna work in my favour. I have definitely got books that will fit that. So we're gonna move on to Blackoweenathon. So the area of the map that I'm going for is Ruby's Cruise Park. So it's like a little spooky fairground carousel ride, that's really cute. And it is the theme and the vibe of this one is middle grade and children's literature. So this does kind of include a bit of YA as well. So it covers a lot of things. So I have a dice. You roll the dice and that tells you which prompt you get that you need to fill. So you need to, there's different levels. If you do 1 to 2 prompts, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, and you can do some crossover prompts as well. Brie goes through all of it in the video as to how much you can do. So do watch that if you are joining in. So prompt number 1 for Ruby's Cruise Park is children or picture book with tales from the diaspora. Prompt number 2 is a book with root magic. Prompt number 3 is stories about friendship. Let's try that again, shall we? Stories about friendship and family ties. Speaking too quickly. Prompt number 4 is a book with a secret. Prompt number 5 is a book where a character gets infected. And prompt number 6 is the free space. So free space is you can read whatever you like as long as it fits with the vibe of the place and the vibe of Ruby's crew being middle grade in children's literature written by Black people. I'm also kind of going to add in sort of spooky mystery thriller because that is kind of the feeling of this readathon, and that's the kind of book prompts that I'll be putting towards this. So I have my dice. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just going to roll it, and you're just going to trust me where it goes. So I'm going to roll it on the floor. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to show the face to you. And that is going to be my first number. Okay, so it's on the floor. I can't see it because I'm not looking. I'm picking it up and I'm showing you. And it's a number 1, which is actually really cool. Because I think I have a few prompts that this will work for. And I'm going to do a picture book. So the picture book that works so perfectly with this is a picture book I haven't yet read that was given to me by my mum. And it is Granny Came Here on the Empire Windrush. This is by Patricia Lawrence and it is illustrated by Camilla Sucre. And this is all about Windrush generation and a young girl sort of listening to her grandma tell stories about how she travelled to England. I'm presuming England. I always presume that. I shouldn't presume. Oh, it does say England. It does say England. There we go. I did presume. Sorry. It could also have been other places, but generally did tend to be England. They may have then since moved to Wales and Scotland. But anyway, I'm getting distracted again. So I haven't read this. So this is going to be really fun to read. I do think the artwork looks beautiful. I really just love this hug on the back of the book. Just this, you can just see the warmth, the squeeze. You can really feel that squeeze. And the way the grandma is looking down at her granddaughter and the granddaughter's looking up to the grandma. So you just feel the cozy love in there. So I think this is going to be a really good one to read for that. Another one I have, which is one of the library books that I got out that I'm really excited for and didn't end up taking back to the library because I just really wanted to read it, which sounds strange because take a book out of the library, you've taken it out to read. But actually I didn't. I took 5 books out of the library to talk about potentials that could be considered for the Middle Grade Readers' Choice Awards, which is something that I created from Goodreads Choice Awards not having middle grade last year, and I want to do the same this year. So it's looking at books that were published in 2024. One of which was the 9-Night Mystery by Shana Jackson. I've read other mystery books by Shana Jackson. I really enjoyed them. So I really I'm very keen to read more. This one is really nice and thick as well. I'm pretty excited about that. It's nearly 500 pages, which seems a bit crazy, but I have loved Shana Jackson's high-rise mysteries, so I'm very excited to be reading more from her. So this is sort of like a community. I'm thinking London just because the other one was in London, and that tends to be a lot of high-rise places. But they're throwing a traditional Caribbean 9-night celebration within this book, so that would definitely work. So that's definitely 2 for 1 prompt. I'm going to roll the other prompts. I might be able to add books to them, I might not, but at least like this is definitely books that will suit the Blackoweenathon prompts. Okay, it's rolling in front of me and I'm picking it up, and again 1, seriously. Right, I'm picking it up. That's the top, that's the bottom, it's there. It's a 5. 5 was the one I didn't want. 5 was the one I'm like, I got nothing. So this is read a book when a character gets infected. Now, on the suggestions Brie mentioned, there was one called Eden's Everdark, which I'm interested in because I heard Courtney from Tangible Reads talk about this. I think she actually read it for Journeyathon, and it sounded really cool. However, that book I cannot access from any library. It's not really around in the UK unless you buy it. And I'm trying not to buy books. I'm trying to read the books I have. So I've told myself that I'm not buying new books for readathons and such. So that is one that I'm not able to do. I'm not able to hit that prompt. So final 1, I'm picking it up. It's a 2. So a 2 is Root Magic. And again, this is the other one that I don't think I can do because I haven't got spooky books that deal with root magic, apart from Root Magic, which I have already read. Now, there are more books by Eden Royce. Love Root Magic, one of my faves. Definitely more books by Eden Royce. Again, you cannot get hold of them in the UK unless you buy them, and it's not just buy them from the shop, you physically have to order them in because we're just not getting them for some reason. I don't know why, because they're really good. So that's a shame. But anyway, I still have 2 books. I have 2 books for prompt number 1, so I'm officially taking part in the Blackoweenathon, so there we go. Diddly diddly dee. Okay, Victober. This may or may not get read, but the thought is there. The thought is there that it could happen. And like I said, I will do it properly another year. Up here on my shelf, it's on my pretty shelf, I have this pretty copy of, this is from my mum. It is The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, strictly speaking, I believe this is not officially classifying as to fitting in. Oh, hold on. No, it will. It will. It says, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. These 12 short stories first appeared in the Strand magazine during 1891 to 2 and were published in book form in the latter year. So that fits the Victorian period because it is 1837 to 1901. So yes, this does work. It also fits another prompt. So one of there's 5 different prompts, and one of them was, my brain has gone to the exact wording, but it's to do with ones that have been, oh no, it's a serialized one. This isn't serialized, it's just published in a magazine and then put into a thing. So just ignore that one. But the really lovely thing that Katie and her co-hosts have done with Victober is to honour 2 booktubers that we lost this year. One I knew and has saddened me greatly, and I know a lot of people are reeling from it, and that is Alice from Alice in the Giant Bookshelf. And so reading a book by Arthur Conan Doyle is in honour of her. So I will at least read one of the stories from The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, even if I don't read it cover to cover. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. Okay, and that's, I can't do more. I can't do more than that because I'm not in the right brain space for it, and I've got a pile of books here and none of them is Victorian literature, but all of these I want to read this month. So I will get in the brain space and the vibe another year where I'm not so focused on reading the books I already have in my house. Okay, final readathon is Hallowtween. And for this one, the theme is trick or treat. So what Stormi has done with this one is to classify something as a trick book. It's a book that makes you feel spooked. A book that gives you the little bit of the chills, a little bit of shivers down your spine, a little bit freaked out, a little woo. Everyone's level is different. So that's how this will work. And then you have the treat one where you're not scared, it's not scary, but it's cozy Halloween vibes. So it's got like things that are spooky. It might be like cute little vampires, like from Amelia Fang, or it just might be something that's a little bit creepy, but not like full on scare. That's where I'm going. That's my happy place. So I have got 2 middle grade books for this. The first is Lights Up by Lisette Orton. This has got ghosts. It's about a theatre, and there's the like the tradition that you always leave a lamp burning in a theatre to keep the ghosts company. And then you have 3 different stories from 3 different times, and I don't know how they're connected, but I'm very intrigued, and I love Lisette Orton. I read The Secret of Haven Point earlier this year and really, really enjoyed it, so I'm very keen to read more from her. And this is a potential for Middle Grade Readers' Choice Awards as well, because it was just been published this year. The second is another book from another, well, obviously it's another book. It's from another author that I also read this year and really enjoyed, and that is Lucy Strange. I really loved her Sisters of the Lost March. So this is her latest release from this year, The Island at the Edge of Night. This sounds really creepy. It's an isolated island. It's a school. People are told they're bad. There's secrets. On the front cover, you've got this kind of like desolated like cliff with this rather spooky looking building. It's set in Scotland. It's all very remote and creepy. Is the school like, I don't know if the school's just like an old like castle building, if it was like an old monastery or something like that. Anyway, it sounds creepy spooky, and I think that's going to be lots of fun. So there's my kind of link to the readathons. I might have more for Gothtober when I find out what the prompts are. But I am going to mention some other books that I want to read. So I have got three, a picture book and a short story. And I have 5 other books to talk to you about, and that will pretty much keep me going for the month. So I doubt there's going to be other things to slip in. So whilst we are still in the Middlegrade vibe, my other 2 middle grades I have to talk to you about are to do with the Middlegrade Reader's Choice Award. So what I am doing is I'm reading the top 5 from last year. I have read Greenwild was September's book. It came in 3rd. In October, I'm reading the book that came in 2nd place, and that is Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundell. So this is a fantasy book. We've had loads of people saying about how amazing this book is. I have got this gorgeous copy with a dragon like riding across the screen. We've got gold foiling, we've got 2 children looking up, and we've got beautiful sprayed edges with blue sky and phoenix on them. It's very gorgeous. And also Tiffany from October TBR told me that she's just read this and it was amazing. So high praise, very excited. And speaking of Tiffany, the other book that I'm going to be reading this month is a buddy read I'm doing with Tiffany, and that is Hamra and the Jungle of Memories. This book came in joint 4th, and it was one of the ones that I personally voted for, so I'm really keen to read it. I think it sounds great. I haven't earned it yet. It's under my bed. And this was published in the US, but it's only just been published in the UK, but we counted it last year because it was US published. It was when it was first published and people were accessing the story. And that one has got sort of like a folktale feeling. It's got a coming of age story, and it just sounds really, really fun. Okay, the books I'm reading that are not middle grade. First of all, I'm going to continue with a series, and that is the Daevabad trilogy. I'm so excited. This is my adult epic fantasy. This is going to take a lot of my time this month, and I'm going to be loving every minute because I'm loving this trilogy, and this is the final one, The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. And I have it on good authority for big fans and promoters of the series, Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe and Abby from Abby Salter, that it sticks the landing, that the ending of the series beautifully kind of plays out and does everything you would like it to, and I am very much here for it. I cannot wait for this one. And finally, my final 2 books is from a project that I started a while ago. I can't remember when, it's so long ago, but I wanted to look at the book boxes that I was subscribed to in 2022 and predict which books I thought I would like the most to the least, read them all, and then see if I was correct. I'm getting close to finishing that 2 years later. So the 2 books I have are, it's Fairy Loot and it is Shelterbox. The book from Shelterbox is called 3 Apples Fell from the Sky, and it is by Nareen Abgarian. This was the first book we actually received. And I do not know if I feel this is, I'm either going to love it or I'm going to hate it. It's either going to be like not going to hate it, but it's either going to be like, nah, not really for me, or it's going to be adorable, sweet and cozy, and I'm just really going to enjoy it. So it says that 3 apples, this is the Shelterbox blurb that they have in here. 3 apples fell from the sky is a perfect read to see us out of the winter. Well, I'm going into the winter, but it's fine. It's a hug of a book, like that warmly brings us into the community of Moran, drawing on Nareen Abgarian's experience of growing up in Armenia. It has also been translated by Lisa C. Hayden. Hayden's skillful translation transports us to the tiny village where Anatolia and the other women in the community support each other through seismic and minuscule events and work with the rest of the neighbourhood to create hope. So there we go. It's either going to really work for me, or I'm just going to think it's just not really my thing. Well, we'll find out. We will find out. I'm hoping for the former. I'm hoping it's really going to work. I didn't place it very high because I think when I was predicting it, I think I felt it really wasn't going to work. But now you're reading about it again, I'm like, I really could. If it really delivers on those things, if I really get involved in the life, it's going to be great. But if I don't get involved in all the community life and don't get those character emotions, I'm just going to be like, I just don't care. So we'll see how it plays out. The Fairy Loot book I have was the April one, and this is Blood Cyan by Deborah Fillet. This is going to be a hard-hitting YA book with themes of war. There is a disclaimer at the front of the book that says, this book is inspired by the real-life horrors endured by child soldiers and the war on children in particular, and therefore tackles themes of war, violence and sexual assault. Please read with care. So I'm glad I got a load of middle grade to balance this out with, because it might get really dark and heavy. But I think it's going to be a really fascinating story. It is about our protagonist, Salone, and she is basically she's a descendant of one of the ancient gods, and they are distrusted by the land she lives in and the rulers of the land, and to be found out means to die, because they are scared of her and her power. She joins the army, she joins this, and she's going to unleash herself as a monster apparently. So very excited about that one. That is everything I hope to read in October. I will let you know about what my Gothtober reads are going to be. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to have a little chat in the comments, that would be awesome, because I always love a chat. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a little like. And if you like the vibe, please subscribe. Happy reading, everyone.